It's a pleasure to always have you join us on Mayokun MA. Thank you again. We started a series a while back. If you missed any, you can scroll and check. It's about Japa. Japa is a term commonly used now in Nigeria for those who are traveling out of the country in droves. Most of them deciding never to come back to Nigeria again. It's because they think that the situation in Nigeria has gotten them to a point where they don't think they can stay here and make a headway either about their career, their education, their family life, and they just want to leave by all means to anywhere but Nigeria. Many of them are going into to Canada, some UK, some US. You even have some who are going to Dubai. Just get out of Nigeria by all means. Well, I haven't heard anyone talk about those who are japaing to Ghana, but I won't be surprised that we'll have some of them japa to neighboring countries. So tonight we're featuring an interesting guest, a Nigerian who Japa-ed to the US again. Yes, we're featuring him and we want to actually learn from him. He has a very, very interesting story to share with us this evening. So thank you and welcome. Please feel free to share the link to this episode with your loved ones so they also can learn from the Japa story. Good evening, Mr. Abdul Idi. Glad to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
All the way from Florida. Let me be sure that the volume is right so people can hear you, right? The volume is right. Okay, so let's start with your Japa story. When did you leave the shores of Nigeria?
Well, I left January 6th, 1989. So that's a long time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you left a long time ago.
Yeah. Long time. So
okay, let's backtrack a little. Would you say that back then Japa was a thing, or then you went because I could just go, not out of pressure?
Well, I went. I think my situation was different because when I left Nigeria, I left January 1989. Nigeria was good at that time, I'm telling you. But before I left, I was the former Nigerian #1 junior lawn tennis player from 1985 to 87. And then I got full lawn tennis scholarship from Livingston College in North Carolina. So they gave me everything, tuition, books, everything, just play tennis and go to class. So that's how I left Nigeria. I came on a full tennis scholarship.
Wow, that is amazing. Okay, and since then you've been in Florida, you've been in Nigeria part of that time?
So when I left Nigeria, I went to state of North Carolina.
Okay.
And then I went to college from 89, graduated in 93.
Okay.
And then after I finished 93, I moved to the state of Minnesota. Where I went and did my master's at Minnesota State University in Mankato. I graduated in 98, and then after that, I started working. Tennis is still in my blood, so that's what I still do. I'm teaching tennis pro. So I was in Minnesota from 93 until 2011 when we moved on to Florida. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Wow. And you've spent some 32, that should be some 32 years, 32 going to 33 years in the US. Have you ever thought of coming back home to Nigeria?
Well, and I think people that are Japan right now, they can relate to what I'm about to say. When you leave Nigeria, that's the last thing on your mind. But as you settle down, because when I was a young man. I mean, I was like 18, 19. So all you're trying to do is you're trying to achieve something and then see how it goes. But as I get older, it's a different story. I mean, right now, I think my wife and I, we've got about maybe a year and a half, 2 years. We'll be definitely we'll be moving back to Nigeria to, summer retire.
Wow. You'd love to move back to Nigeria, like permanently come retire to Nigeria?
Yes.
Wow. Is your wife Nigerian? Okay?
And the reason behind that is, and like I said, everybody is different.
Okay.
You have to plan. You have to plan. So we did all our planning, everything checked out. After when we finished the recording, I was sending some information, not about bragging, but it's just a way to encourage people. If you don't have any plans, you might as well just stay back and just work. But if you have plans, I'm telling you, when I say plan, I mean maybe you have investments, maybe properties or the stock market, whereby you are based in Nigeria, but you're getting them from US or UK or anywhere in Europe. You're gonna live like a king. I mean, that is the yes. Yep.
So you're advising, okay? So you're advising anyone who is even Japan now to have a plan. Maybe they might not in the immediate say they want to come back home, but they should have some concrete plans of what they want to achieve where they're going.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, there are 3 things I can tell people that are Japan right now, because most of them are young people. Number 1, whether it's US, Canada, anywhere in Europe, you got to go with a proper visa. You got to come with a proper visa, because you don't want to come on a tourist visa and then you want to just start working. No, I mean, you can do that, but when they catch you, you're illegal.
Okay, let me pause there. Let me pause there because I want to ask you a question. This is very interesting. I've off camera, I've spoken with a few people who actually left on a tourist visa, but really they are planning to tepa. What I mean by that is get to the US and just stay, disappear, and work their way through until they get their pali. How easy do you think that? I mean, yes, I know that you. By now, is it safe to say that you're already an American citizen? I mean.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so. Both. Okay, good. Now, but I'm sure you must have heard stories or know some people who have this plan that I just spoke of. How, in your estimate, has it worked out for people who plan that way, who say they will go and then just disappear? How has it worked out for them?
Well, a lot of them, I mean, people can do that. I will never encourage that, because you're going to have to work under the table.
Wow.
You know, you can get a job that you're more qualified to. You're not going to get benefits. And every time you're out of the house, you'll be checking your bag to see if the place is up here because of traffic. And if they happen to catch you, the first thing they'll punch is your information. If you don't have legal status, there's a possibility from there you're just going to go to jail, and then after the investigation they'll send you back. And then when they send you back, they're going to block your account. You won't even take your money.
Wow.
So I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but people can get a lawyer that can help them out. But there are certain situations where you might not even get a chance to even go through the law process. They can just take you back home.
Wow. Okay, so let's go back to you. I just was so interested in that. I wanted to know, because many people just want to get out of here, and I'm not sure everyone going out, getting out, they're able to get anything but the tourist visa. Okay, now for your own part, you said you were between 1985 and 1989, you were the number 1, right?
Nigerian, junior lawn tennis player. Yep.
Number 1 junior lawn tennis player for Nigeria.
You can check the record. I won the boys singles Quara 85 in Ilorin. That was my first big tournament. I won that one.
Okay.
And then I won all Nigeria ITF. We played it at Lagos Lawn Tennis Club in Onikon in 87. And then I was on the Nigerian junior national team that we represented Nigeria in Russia, in Cote d'Ivoire, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and some other Nigerians. Yeah.
Okay. Between the time you relocated to the US, you got you had your first degree, got scholarship, had your master's, and you've settled down there. Has there been any form of communication between you and the Nigerian government in terms of your career path, your growth? whether you would love to do something for Nigeria or with Nigeria. Has that been anything like that in the last 33 years?
Well, I think on my part, I mean, I made myself a promise. When I got scholarship and left, I said, well, I mean, the game of tennis has been really, really good to me.
Okay.
So it's my responsibility to give back in any way I can. So if people can check my Facebook or Instagram, I've been doing that for the past, 20-something years.
Wow.
Because when I left in 89, and then I didn't go back to Nigeria until maybe 3 years. I left in 89, went back in 91, 92 for visit. But I've been coming to Nigeria almost every 2 or 3 years. So, but every time I come, I always do a free tennis clinic, tennis coaching, and then I provide tennis equipment to younger players.
Wow.
Because those are the future. I don't collect any kobo. And people can check it. It's there on my Facebook page.
Amazing.
So back in March of this, I did a clinic at Aja, the club in Aja.
Okay.
I did at VGC, and then I did in Jalingo. So, but every time I come, I do it in different states just to give back. And I know when we move, the idea is that's what in summer retire, because I know when we move to Nigeria, the tennis federation, they're gonna want me to do something, but I'm not interested in being the head coach for Nigeria because I don't want to take somebody's job. I mean, I can always volunteer.
All these years.
I can just get.
Okay, fantastic, and make amazing work that you've done, and our listeners can check you out on Instagram. His name is Abdul Idi, so you can check him out. Abdul, Abdul, and Idi, the surname is Idi. It's that simple. Check him out. Check his work out. But
yeah.
All through the time that you've been coming and doing, your bit, have you established any contact with the Tennis Federation at all? Did you?
Yeah. I mean, usually before I come, I do let them know. I mean, like I know the men's, the national coach, Rotimi Akinloy, and I know the junior national coach, Obale Mohammed. Obale, we did play junior tennis in Nigeria together. So I kind of just, do let them know that, hey, I'm in town. I'm trying to, just give back. I don't need anything. I'm not trying to get paid or anything. It's just a way to give back to the community.
Oh, you let them know, but nothing, they haven't really been responding. Is that what you're saying?
No, they do. I do that as a courtesy, just to let them know, hey, I'll be in town. Actually, the last time I was there in March, the junior coach happened to be in Lagos, so he came and actually met me at VGC, while I was doing some of the clinics.
Oh, okay. All right, fantastic. What has your experience been as a Nigerian working abroad? Did you experience some difficulties settling down, even though, yes, you got scholarship, and it appeared you had it easy there? True or not true?
It's in a way, yes and no. I mean, in terms of the easy part of it is when I was in college, I didn't have to pay school fees, so that's covered, everything, food, and housing and books.
Okay.
And actually, it's not just me alone, because the college I went to, again, Livingston College in Salisbury, North Carolina. Can you believe it? There were 9 of us from Nigeria, 9 of us on the same team.
Wow. As at then?
All of us. Yes, that's at then, but it's different now. I mean, all of us, so we were like a family. I mean, I even looking at it, no, I can tell you I know all the players, the state they came from. Like for me, myself, there's another guy, Abdul Idi. We both when we lived in Gongola State, now it's Taraba. So I'm from Taraba State.
Wow.
And then Ganio Adisa, Sunday Ogundele, those are from Lagos State.
Wow.
Amechi Ogundele, he was based in Lagos. Richard Oswago is from Imo, but based in Lagos.
Wow.
The Martin DBC from Ibadan, Oyo State.
Wow.
Then Shego Akinlo from Bendel, I think now is Delta Star.
Yes.
We had all of us competed against each other in Nigeria before we left, to go to college. In terms of that, it wasn't difficult because it's like a family. But then right after school, after we most of us finished our first degree, then you got to figure out what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us were really good, but after college, the option is either to go and do my master's or try and play the professional tour. But in tennis, you cannot play pro if you don't have sponsorship.
Wow.
That's when we need, at that time, like a company from Nigeria or to kind of help, sponsor, because if you don't have sponsorship, you cannot play professional tennis. And then so the decision would be, okay, go to school to extend my stay in the US or go and struggle on the tour. So I chose to go to, graduate school. Okay. And then I've been teaching tennis, ever since.
Wow. What did you study?
Yeah.
What did you study at school?
So undergraduate, because again, like I said, as soon as I got my visa in Nigeria, I just want to help people. Because I know getting scholarship is a big deal because my parents, they don't have the money to pay. The tuition almost like $10,000 a year. We don't have that money. Wow. Yeah, so I studied social work for my undergraduate, and then for my master's, I did health science with focus in community health. So that's what I did. Undergraduate in social work, and then master's in community.
Fantastic. You have children, do you? If you don't mind.
I have one son.
Okay.
He just turned 18.
Oh, yes.
So he just turned 18. I'm trying to get Ghana must go because my kids are 18.
That's fantastic. Okay.
I'm trying to get Ghana must get out. So yeah.
Okay, I wanted to ask. He was born there. So how much of Nigeria does he know? How much of Nigeria have you been able to pass
Nigeria,
to him?
Yeah,